The news that a 21-year-old creator has grossed $95 million in just 2 years has moved from a shocking internet rumor to a verified financial reality that is currently rewriting the rules of the digital economy. Sophie Rain has become a household name not because of traditional stardom, but because she has successfully gamified a narrative that combines superhero costumes, a self-proclaimed commitment to her faith, and an income that dwarfs the salaries of the world's most elite professional athletes. By late 2025, the gap between the public expectation of her wholesome girl-next-door persona and the corporate reality of her high-stakes content empire has become the most discussed case study in modern marketing. To understand how a former waitress from Florida can generate nearly $100 million while claiming to maintain her traditional values, we have to look past the viral TikToks and examine the specific receipts that her management team has carefully curated for the public. We are going to answer 3 major questions that have divided the internet for months. First, how did a case of mistaken identity involving a viral Spider-Man video become the foundation for a 9-figure fortune? Second, who was the mysterious subscriber who reportedly paid her $5 million in a single year, and how does the agency machinery behind her handle those high-value relationships? And third, is her pivot to philanthropy and her recent move to a quiet farm in Tampa a genuine life change, or the ultimate exit strategy for an industry legend who is ready to retire before her 22nd birthday? The most shocking part of this entire saga is the realization that the video that made her famous might not actually feature her at all. For years, the internet has been obsessed with a specific, high-definition video of a woman in a skin-tight Spider-Man suit performing explicit acts. According to an investigative report by The Tab on January 21, 2025, Sophie Rain has repeatedly and explicitly denied being the woman in that specific clip. She claimed in a high-profile podcast appearance that the woman in the video is actually another creator named Naomi Soraya. Per Rain's own statements, the two women share a striking physical resemblance that allowed the internet to create a false narrative that tied the video to her brand. However, the business reality is that instead of fighting the comparison, Rain leaned into it with surgical precision. Throughout 2024 and 2025, she began posting hundreds of non-explicit videos in similar superhero costumes, effectively SEO jacking the search results for her own name. When users searched for the explicit Spider-Man video, they were greeted with her legitimate platform-safe content, which acted as a massive funnel for her paid subscription service. According to industry analysts, this case of mistaken identity provided her with tens of millions of dollars in free marketing. It is a masterclass in crisis management, where the reality of the situation was irrelevant because the expectation of the fans was already set. By refusing to sue or hide, she turned a potential brand disaster into the most successful customer acquisition strategy in the history of the Blue Site. This leads us to the single most shocking point of the entire Sophie Rain empire, the financial receipts that put her in the same room as the world's most powerful people. Per a verified reveal on David Dobrik's vlog in August 2025, Sophie Rain showed her administrative dashboard, which confirmed she had earned $82 million in 18 months. By November 2025, a new screenshot shared on X confirmed that this number had surged to over $95 million. To put this in a perspective that the average person can understand, according to the sports business tracker Hoops Hype, NBA legend LeBron James earned approximately $56 million from his basketball contract in 2024. Sophie Rain, working from a content house in Florida, was generating nearly double the on-court salary of a 4-time NBA champion. However, the money isn't just coming from $10 subscriptions. According to a report by The Independent on December 11, 2024, Rain revealed that her highest-paying subscriber, a man identified only as Charles, sent her approximately $5 million in a single year. When asked about the nature of this relationship, Rain admitted to People magazine that she has never even asked how old he is, simply noting that he feels like a grandfather figure to her. This is where the agency machinery comes into play. According to an industry insider who spoke with analysts in late 2025, a creator at Rain's level does not manage her own DMs. There's a Tier 1 agency structure behind her, employing professional ghost chatters who work in 24-hour shifts to keep high rollers like Charles engaged. These chatters are trained in psychological tactics to build intense emotional bonds with subscribers, ensuring that the expectation of a personal connection with Sophie is met with a professional sales environment that maximizes every tip and every interaction. While the money flowed in, the reality of her safety became a major industry headline in early 2025. On February 11, 2025, a terrifying incident occurred at a content house in Fort Lauderdale, where Sophie Rain and her colleagues, known as the Bop House crew, were filming. According to reports from Vice and TMZ, a stalker broke into the mansion while the group was attending the Super Bowl. When they returned, they found a window smashed and an intruder still inside who attempted to convince the women he was the new owner of the property. The situation escalated into a full SWAT standoff that lasted for hours before the suspect was arrested. This event highlighted the high cost of digital fame. Per an industry security consultant who worked with the group, Rain's personal security budget reportedly surged to over $50,000 a month following the incident. This reality stands in stark contrast to the fun and games shown in her TikToks. It proves that the $95 million isn't just a number on a screen. It is a shield required to protect her from the very fans who are funding her lifestyle. This incident is allegedly what led to her decision to leave the Bop House in July 2025 and move to a secluded farm in Tampa, moving her business away from the high-profile mansion life and into a more private, fortified environment. The narrative that has generated the most debate, however, is her Christian virgin branding. According to an interview with the Express Tribune on December 4, 2024, Rain boldly declared that she is a devout Christian and a virgin who is waiting for the right person to spend her life with. She argued that her work on the Blue site doesn't conflict with her values because the Lord is very forgiving. This purity marketing has been a goldmine for her brand, creating a unique niche where fans believe they are supporting a good girl in a bad industry. However, per a Vulture report from late 2025, her subscription bio at one point allegedly advertised explicit content and specific acts that contradict the virgin narrative. This discrepancy has created a massive divide in her fanbase. According to a social media sentiment analysis from November 2025, while millions of fans defend her right to privacy and faith, a growing number of critics label the branding as predatory deception. They argue that by using the label of virgin, she is creating a target for older men who are willing to pay a premium for the idea of purity. The receipt here is found in her conversion rates. Every time she mentions her faith or her status in an interview, her subscription count reportedly spikes by double digits. It's a business tactic that uses traditional morality to sell a modern product, and it's a tactic that has made her one of the wealthiest women under the age of 25 in America. As she approached the end of 2025, Rain began a pivot that many industry experts see as a calculated move toward a mainstream exit. In September 2025, she launched a campaign she called Goon for Good, which she claimed started as a joke but turned into a massive philanthropic success. According to a report by the Economic Times on November 2, 2025, Rain donated over $120,000 of her earnings in a single day to Feeding America. This followed a high-profile pledge of $1 million to YouTuber Mr. Beast's Clean Water Initiative in August. Per her own statements to People magazine, she grew up on food stamps, and her primary motivation for entering the industry was to clear her parents' tax debts and buy them a house. By late 2025, she had successfully accomplished those goals, paying off her family's £11,000 debt and moving them into a life of luxury. This redemption arc has been highly effective in softening her image. According to PR experts, by giving away millions to charity, she is making it harder for for regulators to target her business model. It creates a narrative where the spicy content is just a means to a noble end. However, the reality remains that her wealth is still generated through a platform that many traditional religious organizations find fundamentally incompatible with the values she claims to hold. The final layer of the Sophie Rain reality is her exit strategy. In July 2025, she officially distanced herself from the Miami content house scene to focus on her farm in Tampa. According to social media posts from November 30th, 2025, she is now focusing on animal rescue and a more quiet life, despite her earnings continuing to climb toward the $110 million mark. Industry analysts believe this is the final phase of her career. Per an unverified insider, Rain has already invested a significant portion of her $95 million into diversified real estate and index funds, ensuring that she never has to post another photo for the rest of her life. She has successfully navigated the most volatile industry in the world. Sophie Rain survived a SWAT standoff, out-earned the greatest basketball player of all time, and maintained a brand-safe reputation that allows her to donate to mainstream charities. The expectation was that she would be another flash-in-the-pan viral star who would eventually disappear into the noise of the internet. The reality is that she is a financial mastermind who has built a generational fortune by understanding exactly how to monetize the human desire for a wholesome fantasy in an unwholesome world. When we look at the impact Sophie Rain has had on the industry, it is clear that she has fundamentally changed the game for everyone else. Other creators are now attempting to replicate her purity and superhero hooks, but none have seen the same level of financial success. According to the Super Creator app, the average performer in this space earns less than $200 a month. Sophie Rain is a 1% anomaly who has proved that the biggest paycheck doesn't go to the person who shows the most, but to the person who manages the story the best. She has navigated the ethical minefield of child-adjacent aesthetics and the legal pressure from major studios with a level of poise that suggests a much older, more experienced executive team is calling the shots behind the scenes. As she moves into 2026 with a potential net worth of over $100 million, she stands as a testament to the power of the forbidden fruit in the digital age. The lesson for anyone following this world is that the story is always more profitable than the truth. Sophie Rain didn't need the viral Spider-Man video to be real to make it work for her. She didn't need to change her lifestyle to make her faith a selling point. She simply needed to understand what her audience wanted to believe and give them a place to pay for it. As the industry continues to evolve and platforms face more scrutiny over age verification and marketing funnels, the Sophie Rain model will likely become the blueprint for a new generation of clean creators who want to retire before they turn 25. If you want to understand the real game being played and see how the next generation of creators is using these same receipts to build their own empires, you need to see the data that isn't being shared on the main feed. To see the full breakdown of how these agency chatting facilities actually operate and how you can spot a manufactured controversy from a mile away, you need to check out the Velvet Rope Industry Secrets playlist. This is where the curtain is pulled back on the industry's biggest winners and the secrets they use to stay on top, while the rest of the world is left wondering how they did it.